All right, today's the day. Leaving Great Falls, South Carolina, and headed north to Berkeley Springs, West Virginia. But first, our last round in the creek.
It's really lovely down here. Just build a little shipping container right up the creek. Your feet are so dirty.
Feet are so gross, buddy.
Do you see Daddy's hair? Daddy's hair?
No.
Wow.
What is that?
That is Daddy's hat.
The hat is wet. Wow. If you're thinking to yourself, man, it must take forever to pack that stuff up and get it going every week. It does. It does. We were staying at our family's in South Carolina. They had a beautiful pool, but obviously it's way too cold, and Grayson was really into the pool. We're leaving the RV. We're in Roanoke, Virginia. We're staying at the Marriott, and they have an indoor pool. And we called ahead to make sure it was open, and it is. Back on the road again. Car full of babies. We got to West Virginia on a beautiful Saturday evening. It was really nice, and it seemed like everything was just going to be fine. You know, it wasn't until I guess 2 days later, actually, is when the first rainy day happened, and the first time we needed to refill water. That was like a simultaneous punch in the face. Because we, as beautiful as it is to drive down to Berkeley Springs to refill 1,000 jugs of water, it was windy and it was cold.
Yeah.
And making sure Grayson didn't run and jump in the water was another stress. So it was like one of us had to be on Grayson and one of us was refilling jugs with freezing cold hands. And that got kind of old kind of fast, and we were underprepared for that. So in part one, I want to tell you guys about what sort of happened to us and the experience that made us want to get other things, to do more renovations, to do things to the Sequoia and the RV, and make it exactly what we need it to be.
It marked like the end of the first month that we had spent living full time in the RV.
But it was the first time we were going to be off-grid. And if you know us, then every one of our other conversions we lived in completely off-grid. We've never parked in an RV park. We never plugged into somebody's house or even had the ability to do that. And now that we do, we realize how nice it is to be at like RV parks and have your amenities and have all that stuff. But also it's made us a bit more lazy. Like we can just go up there and take a shower rather than me actually fixing the shower and making all that work. And we can just get water from them instead of actually having to make the Sequoia something that can hold water when we go into town and come back. So basically we got to West Virginia, and we got 4 rainy, sleety, snowy, nasty days in a row.
With virtually no sunshine.
We were getting like 14 watts for most of the day. And our refrigerator is very low wattage. It's only at 70 watts, which is awesome. But
I think it's 60 watts, but when it kicks on, it's 75 watts, right?
75 watts initial. That's really good.
So.
Yeah, it's really low wattage. But when you're only getting like 15 watts, that's not nearly enough to keep the battery charged and the lights on.
Did all the math that one does when you're trying to configure a solar setup, but until you actually put it to the test, like you don't really know how many watts you're going to be getting in on a cloudy day.
And you think like that those 3 rainy days in a row, that's so unlikely, right? We're not going to be in Seattle, and then it happens to you.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh man, this isn't good. We have to have a much bigger system than this.
Right.
Something that can last us. Because it only lasts us one of those days. And I actually ended up having to go charge the batteries on the Sequoia just so we could keep things in our fridge.
Yeah.
Because we unplugged the fridge overnight, the fridge and freezer overnight. And then when I had to turn it back on, it would run for so long to recool itself down that it was sucking the battery dry again. So I had to hook the Sequoia, charge the fridge off the Sequoia.
We very quickly understood that we were not going to be able to do this sustainably that way.
No, we weren't ready as far as the power system goes to be off-grid.
Great for like an emergency. It was a good learning experience to know that the Sequoia can charge the battery that way and that is an option, but we're not trying to set ourselves up for dealing with or leaning on our emergency situations once a week or once a month.
What that told us is that we need to figure out a way that we can get more water when we go on water hauls.
Yeah.
Because we were hauling around 1 6-gallon jug and like 5 or 6 1-gallon jugs, and that's not nearly enough to fill our 40-gallon tank, and it's just a pain trying to get 1 gallon into our tank. I was siphoning it, and it was just the whole thing. Yeah. So we have to figure out a better way to get water into the Sequoia, into the RV.
Right.
So that's one thing.
To fill our 40-gallon tank.
Yeah. One thing we're going to be working on doing. The biggest thing we're going to be working on doing, though, is the power system.
Overhauling that bad boy.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, to be fair, you had this initial system in mind when you told me how much the solar was going to cost. And I was the one that was like, we're not spending that much on solar right now. Like, I want a nice fridge. I want a bathroom. And so you kind of just let me have that.
I should have said it's like this or that. Like, we can have the nice fridge right now, or we can have this killer solar setup.
So you were right. We definitely needed to spend the however much,
a lot more,
$3,500, right? Isn't that the whole setup?
Yeah.
Yeah, we needed to actually spend the $3,500 on the solar in order to put ourselves in the best possible position so that when bad weather happens, which is inevitable, whether you're in Seattle, West Virginia, wherever, that we could withstand it and not.
Or if it's parked in shade. If you go to somewhere that's a beautiful spot, but it's in the shade and only gets like a few hours of sunlight.
Yeah.
That's one thing that we didn't really think about, because I was thinking maximum sunlight. This is a very just stripped back setup, really. So anyway, we can go and have gone extended periods of time without proper hygiene.
Yeah.
Previously, I mean, I would say like 2 weeks was like the longest we ever went without taking a shower, which might sound really terrible if you've never been in the lifestyle, but you understand if you don't have a shower on board.
Right.
And that's fine.
Kind of. I mean,
kind of. It wasn't great. We hated it.
Don't have sex and
and it was
aren't very intimate and
right. It's like, don't touch me. But
now we have a son.
Now that we have a son and you're like about 9 months pregnant, we need to really keep hygiene as an important factor.
Focal point. Yes, absolutely.
So we were like hopping down to my mom's to take showers. We took one shower at my cousin's house.
At the RV park, we were taking showers like every 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we need to get our shower going. Yeah. And that's a big, big project because I had to relocate and buy a whole new hot water heater. And it's something I've never done before, so I'll admit to my procrastination on the project, and it is fear-based, and I hate that, but I really want to get it done.
But then there's some real things, like we have to cut holes, we have to cut a hole in the side of the RV. Yeah. There's some other little projects we want to do, like to make shoes in a better place so they're not on our floor, to put the litter box somewhere more tucked away. So there's a lot of cutting and sawdust involved.
Totally.
And so part of it's not just procrastination, it's also logistics of like, well, we can't be doing these projects and then also be going to sleep in here at night with like potentially big messes with Grayson and the cats.
Exactly. And that's something we've realized. I guess the best advice that I can give to anybody who's doing a conversion is leave it open-ended. Like, hit the road when it's ready to be lived in and comfortable, and then, but be ready to build other stuff too.
Yeah.
Be ready to, I guess we do need to knock that wall out kind of stuff. Or I guess it would be better if we did build a shoe rack right here and built this in right here and cut a hole in the door to put the cat box in the bathroom, and all these little things that you start to realize along the way once you've lived in it are different and they're individual and it's specific for each person.
And this is the very first time I would also say to be saving along the way so that you don't have to do renovations that will inevitably come up while you're living in the rig.
Yeah.
Because we have done that in previous conversions. We did big renovations while we were sleeping in there, and again, that was like kind of okay for us, but doesn't work with kids and cats and the whole nine. So,
yeah. So we're working that out as well right now.
Figure out an option for that.
And you guys will see all of this in the next video. That's going to be, this is the why, and that's going to be the how, basically. Another thing I guess I wanted to talk to you guys about, people who have been following us, is what we're doing. And basically what's happened, we haven't really had a lot of backstory and told you guys what's really happened to us that brought us to this point right now and how many waves of renovations we've already put into the RV. But when we got the RV in Wyoming, we parked it up in Colorado and did the first wave, which was
6 months ago.
6 months ago now.
Right?
Yeah.
5 months, 6 months, something like that.
It was October.
Yeah.
October, November, December, January, February, March, 6 months ago.
Okay.
It was the beginning of October
yeah.
too. So no, it was 6 months.
That's wild.
So 6 months ago, we got the RV and we did the first wave, which was paint and tear out everything nasty, get up in there and defunkify this thing because it's vintage. It's from like 83. It's
Rats were in there.
older
Mice
than
were
I
in
am.
there.
Yeah, it was gross.
Yeah.
So our first wave was to defunkify it, paint everything. Some things were ready. There was no wood stove or anything.
Just make it look better.
Make it look better. So that was somewhere we wanted to live in. We even took our mattress from our house. It was a Casper mattress and we were like in love with it. So we wanted to save it and we took it and cut it up into chunks to try to piece it back together and kept like falling into the chunks in the night. So we got rid of that, but that was until the second wave. The second wave was actually in Florida, which would explain a little more why we're on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So we went to Florida and stayed in Zaynah's dad's driveway for the depths of winter, and I helped him out at his restaurant, and we were able to work on the RV in the driveway, and that was really nice. That was the wave that you see right now. That's how you see it now, but we're about to go into wave 3.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Yeah. The reason we've been traveling up the East Coast is we wanted to see family up here that haven't met Grayson yet, because traveling's been really weird for the past couple of years and seeing people. And it's his second birthday. So we really wanted to have his second birthday here on the East Coast with my family. So here we are. We're somewhere we can be plugged in right now, and we're going to be hitting the road
to our destination where we're going to have our baby.
So stay tuned for that. Make sure you're subscribed, hit that notification bell, and I hope this video was fun to watch and maybe a little informative.
Yeah, stick around for the bloopers.
Yeah, see you guys. Live zealously.
Wawa.
It's Wawa.
Wawa.
Totally. And, oops, how many people are? No, I didn't. Where am I?
Ready? You got it.
Just dropped our video that hopefully you've already seen. If not, then watch it.
More chips.
You've seen better days.
Right, it's about 9 a.m. I'm trying to bounce up and down so that Grayson sees me and doesn't freak out, because he's right here in this window and he's hungry, and we're hungry because all they had that we could eat at the Starbucks in the hotel was avocado toast, and it was $9.50, and we're not crazy. So we're not going to spend $9.50 on avocado toast.